The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. I said something in a recent video that I got a bunch of mail on. People seem to catch it. It says, here's one of them. It says, "Hey Perch, I almost missed the closing line of your latest video. Then I replayed it to make sure I hadn't misheard. So is retirement off and you're going another 10 years? Is this like a Tom Brady and every other pro athlete thing where you realize you'll miss the action too much and unretire? Or has this been a wrestling swerve the whole time and you've been using this to boost demand only to announce you've changed your mind and you're back better than ever? Either way, I prefer you continue going. I enjoy the mostly level-headed commentary to comics, specifically in the culture wars in general." And then there's a plug. We'll do this. As always, there's a plug for me. My Samson Kickstarter is in its final few days. Shit, by the time this video goes out, it'll be done. Anyway, this is Samson. And it's a much slower go than I thought. Going in, I was sure a straight-up superhero book would be way more popular. A book about a cyborg shark. That doesn't seem to be the case for reasons I'm still trying to work out. Mostly it's that people can't find it. And then you advertise it on channels like this one where I talk about it long after the Kickstarter is closed. Anyway, we need to solve this. We need to solve this. Anyway, bitingcomics.com. Go there. Come on. Samson Kickstarter. Get in there. bitingcomics.com. You got to do it. But the other question, is this channel retiring? Is it coming to an end, or was it a wrestling swerve? Well, I mean, here's the reality. It's really us against the world. It's you and me. It's all of us. It's us against the world. We got to keep going because you can't trust anyone. And it's Perch forever. 100 years, 100 days. Joe and Perch. 100 years. Joe and Perch forever. It's Joe and Perch. That's what we're. No, okay. Anyway, we'll see. No, I'm retiring. We're wrapping it up. It's taken a while, like I said, and that's okay. I mean, why would the close be any more straightened out than the show in general? But there's a couple more interviews I want to do. I want to do some live streams again, do a couple of those. I've got a bunch of mail and other shit to get through. And then comes like the last 10 days. And the last 10 days are going to include things like the Rick Remender, what the hell happened there video. And what I really think of some of these crowdfunders who fight each other for drama bucks. And we're going to toss all the shit out there. And what's going to be great is that I'm just going to release them fairly rapid fire. And then people are going to come to do the reaction videos and the channel will be closed. So fuck off. Oops, I shouldn't say that because YouTube demonetizes me when I say things like that. But I don't care. So there you go. Anyway, enough talk about that silliness. I want to talk about two quick things. One of which was there was a news story that Mickey and Minnie were getting divorced, and that Disney was breaking up this iconic couple after 50 or 70 years, 80 years, 100 years. Minnie and Mickey, 100 years forever. No, I already did that bit. Anyway, Minnie and Mickey were breaking up, and you may have seen this article. It got a bunch of play other places. So is Minnie and Mickey breaking up? Well, the answer is no. None of it's fake news. But where did this come from? Is this just some jerk here who decided to kind of do this stuff? Who did this? The answer is, a safe bet in general, blame Marvel. Yeah, it's actually Marvel's fault. So what happened there is that there's some Disney covers, some variant covers with Disney characters. And in two of them, in one that's a recreation of X-Men #1, where, they're fighting Magneto and, Mickey and Mickey's there as Cyclops, and Daisy is there as Jean Grey. And so somebody saw that one. Then there's a second one where it's an Avengers cover, and Mickey is Hank Pym, because it makes sense. He does beat his wife. And Daisy is the Wasp. And so somebody, some sharp-eyed person who knows way too much about comics go, well, since Jean Grey and Cyclops are a, canon couple, take that. And since Hank Pym and the Wasp are clearly a canon couple, that must mean that Mickey is going to dump Minnie and start dating Daisy. And you may go, this is really stupid. What I just hear. You just heard the origin story behind that article that you may have seen a bunch about, that woke Disney is breaking up Minnie and Mickey. They're not. This entire story, I shit you not, stems from 2 Marvel variant covers, where it appears that the Mickey is going to go duck. Yeah, that's what that whole thing is about. Anyway, generates some outrage, which is just kind of fascinating when you see how some of these stories roll. And that's why you should pretty much mistrust everything you read everywhere. Like that's where I'm at. Do you remember a lot of the counterculture? You had the mainstream media, and they would post complete crap, and then you would have, you basically would have the kind of the counter media to come in to tell the truth. Except the counter media figured out that they also need advertising dollars, so they started posting crap. And now we have this horrible world where both sides, quote unquote, of the media post garbage. And so we're right back to where we started, which is trust nothing. Nothing. It's just it's all garbage. Your safest position is that you're being lied to, always. But speaking of other cope things that went on, the other thing that's kind of filtering around is at New York City Comic Con on Sunday, they had a Spider-Man panel. And the Spider-Man panel took an interesting turn when some people decided to ask, why the hell won't you let Peter and MJ get back together? And apparently, C.B. Cebulski, who was there, just started to dislike it and started kind of haranguing a fan of how long you've been reading the books and what's wrong with you. And kind of the way he was going is like, you old fans need to get over it. It's been a long time since they've been married. And then the fan apparently revealed that they started reading post One More Day, but then went back to read back issues and really liked that relationship, which kind of shut Cebulski up. But apparently it was kind of a tense thing. And from multiple sources, when they announced don't worry, we're getting a MJ jackpot limited series for Gang War, nobody was into that. Just the crickets in the room. And so it gets back to, at some point, you have to ask yourself, why in the hell is Marvel fighting this so much? And we've done video after video after video. We've talked about this before. I still think the most revealing thing was Jordan White's comments in an X-Men interview where he basically kind of said, hey, at the Marvel office, we don't know what to do with married people. You have a lot less stories you can tell. And in listening to Cebulski and Nick Lowe and others, I mean, look, there's no world at this point where, I mean, if you're Marvel and you're looking for feedback and you're looking for fans who go, well, I never really liked the, MJ Peter marriage. I mean, you're talking 1 out of 100 people come with that point of view. And every time somebody does post that, man, Marvel people jump all over it. Well, see, we get mails like this and then we get mails from the other. I don't know what to do. Yeah, you do. You're getting 99 people saying they want it to the one you don't. But the real reveal here is, like, why don't they do it? Because they literally do not know what to do with that story. They don't know how to write that comic. They don't. The people at Marvel have no idea how to write the story of Peter and MJ as a couple. Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to have an arc where they go to lunch? And then they're going to, I don't know, Peter's going to have to apologize for something because he's late for, I don't know, something. And then what now? What do we do? I don't know. If we put him back, I heard this recently as a person at Marvel. The comment was basically first of all, don't get me wrong. The room was supposedly some good energy, some Spider-Man fans there and everything else. But the fans are legitimately befuddled. And so this is coming from somebody at Marvel saying the fans seem confused, just confused as to why this was such a sticking point. And at some point, why Marvel, at the very least, doesn't acknowledge that there is a big groundswell of people who want the other thing. I mean, even if Marvel came out and said, we know a lot of you want this, but, we're telling different stories right now. And, we need you to trust us. I mean, that's not the best answer, but the current answer is well, no, we don't. We see people saying that they like it the way it is, and we see others saying we don't. I don't know what to do. Everybody knows that's crap at this point. So just own it a little bit. But the other comment was with kind of the kind of Peter MJ dynamic. This was the thing. It's this is somebody from Marvel said, but what the fans need to realize is if we put them back into a relationship, then they're just going to be pissed when we have to break them up again. So contemplate that quote for a moment. They're just going to be pissed when we have to break them up again. Why do you have to break them up again? Why are you starting the story that way? It's a weird way to start the story. Are there people in the Fantastic Four office who are like, you know what? I mean, at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is Sue is definitely going to have to divorce Reed to go, under the sea, so to speak, with Namor and his sea, and like, is that it? I think this is legitimately part of Marvel's problem, and where they're thinking about all this is that we're stuck with Marvel believing we can't, if we put this relationship back together, we're just going to have to break it up again, like in a couple of years, because, couples can't stay together. It's just impossible. And I just find that it is so bizarre. But you do have to wonder. Like, here's the other thing I'm predicting will happen at some point is Marvel. There, a couple different routes, but they're going to make more Spider-Man movies. They're going to put Spider-Man and MJ together, and that's definitely where it's going to go. It's definitely how it's going to wind up. And kind of the hook for the next couple movies is, can MJ get her memory back, remember who Peter was, and restore that couple. It's going to be this big heroic clapping moment when she finally does, and then eventually we're gonna hook them up. That's definitely where the movies are going, and the comic books are going to be forced drug kicking and screaming to follow suit. The other thing that's could happen is Marvel is going to just start to outsource the comics to somebody else. At some point, they're like, screw it, we can't do this, or they're going to go elsewhere. And then whoever licenses it is going to go, well, I like money, so I'm going to go for easy cash. And this is the part about comics, and I'll conclude it all here. Before we go for another 100 years, everybody. Perch and Joe forever. Anyway, why don't the publishers go for money? Just easy money? Like, there's a lot of dead simple, easy money things to do. Why don't they do those things? Why don't they just, again, if you were a licensor, I'll ask you this question, and you could answer in the comments. If you were licensing the Marvel products right now, let's say you're spending your own money and you're going to put out Marvel comics, those characters, and you have a couple guidelines. You can't completely warp the characters any more than Marvel, the current company, is already. What would you do? I suspect for many of you, you would take the shortest possible path to make cash. That's what anyone in their right mind would do. Yeah, the Spider-Man MJ back together, like day one. X-Men, straightforward, underground mutant. That's what you would do. You would have the iconic team on one team. You would not be messing around with Laura Kinney is the real Wolverine. You wouldn't be screwing around with any of that stuff. You're like, okay, I can put any X-Men team together. Okay, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, probably Cyclops. Throw Jean Grey in there. That's what you're doing. Day one. It's the most commercial thing you're doing. Throw Rogue and Gambit in there. Why not? That's where you're gonna go. You don't have to put him in the mansion. You don't have to put Charles Xavier back in a giant ass gold wheelchair. You can do other things, but that's what you would do because that's commercial success. This is just Captain America. Okay, we have Path A. Captain America do a story arc where he loses trust in America, or we do Captain America as a kind of James Bond type agent, has to get in there, stop the world from being destroyed by the Red Skull. I mean, everybody's going to pick the easy money. I'm baffled why comics doesn't go that direction more. Like, especially now. Like, and if you're a creator, you want to be associated with something that makes a boatload of money. That's going to get you that Netflix deal. Like, that's going to give you independence. Just go, turn off whatever insane, fan fiction idea that you have that you've been discussing with people on Tumblr back in the day about, and go for easy cash. That's your answer. But Perch, that's not artistically. Oh, screw that. You know what you could do with a lot of money? A ton of art. Anyway, thanks for listening.